Hello, guys. How are you? I hope you're not too tired. We are reaching the end of of these first days of the conference. We are here with Brian Avello, who is the General Counsel at the Maker Foundation, to present. How are you, Brian? First, all good?
Yeah, good, Federico. How are you?
Good, very good. Let me share my screen a second. Um, so just 10 more minutes to present the Kleros Maker Fellowship that is open now for applications. Um, well, we have been discussing earlier about the Kleros Fellowship of Justice. We have seen, we have a full panel of people who participated in the fellowship doing different types of research. Some video presented about the use of Kleros for ICANN domain name disputes. Luis presented about how this could be potentially used for some types of contracts in the context of Venezuela. And we had also Mauricio discussing Kleros for peer-to-peer energy disputes in the decentralized energy economy that's coming. So we have already lots of people who have done research about lots of different types of use cases for Kleros. And one thing that we learned, and I discussed this in the morning about Kleros, is very big potential it has for curation of different things, and in particular, curation of crypto assets that should be that could be accepted into decentralized exchange, for example, or any decentralized finance application. So this gave me the idea of what if some type of curation mechanism could help MakerDAO community in their collateral onboarding process, which is something that I understand they have been like exploring for a while. And this gave me the idea to propose to Brian doing some research work together in what we call the Kleros Maker Fellowship, which is basically the idea is to have one Kleros Maker Fellow do a 6-month research project for with the goal of seeing how to develop a decentralized curation framework for onboarding assets into the multi-collateral DAI. So what's the potential of token registries into helping MakerDAO community transform or improve or refine the method they have now, if they choose to do so, of course. And this has a 3,000 DAI per month stipend, which is sponsored by the Coopérative Kleros and the MKR Foundation to do this research. The requirements for the fellow is to submit a high quality report, of course, contribute their insights to the MakerDAO forum where all these things are discussed currently, and also give a presentation of the findings in the MakerDAO governance and risk call. So applications are open. There are already a bunch of very, very good candidates that we are already interviewing. So this is the last opportunity you have for applying. The applications closed November 16th, so you have like only 4 more days to apply. And so that's it for me. And Brian, if you want to say some words on behalf of the Maker Foundation,
Yeah,
feel free,
of
please.
course. More than happy to, Federico. Thanks for the time. Thanks for having me. And I hope the conference is going well. I'm sure it is. And I just want to take a few moments to talk a little bit about, kind of how we see this fellowship turning out. And I think the opportunities there for, any ambitious lawyers who are looking at, whether it's getting more involved in decentralized finance or in particular in the MakerDAO community. There is a more than ample amount of opportunities for you or for and perhaps you and some of your colleagues to really make an impact on how the DAO evaluates these sorts of tokens going forward. I think Federico went over the contours of the fellowship itself, but to the extent I can add any color, I think there is right now, as part of the collateral onboarding process, different mandated actors, in other words actors who are voted on to take certain roles in MakerDAO are performing a number of different analyses with regard to different tokens that are being considered for onboarding, from risk analysis to smart contract analysis to interim governance and how the governance actual MIPS process through which those collateral types are evaluated and potentially onboarded. there are a number of these different groups that are providing very discrete services for the DAO. And I mean, my own personal opinion, this is not me speaking on behalf of the foundation, this is just me, you know, speaking in my individual capacity. I think there's a lot of opportunities there for an attorney to, you know, provide some, you know, provide some analysis regarding these different sorts of collateral assets that are being discussed and considered in the community. And frankly, an opportunity there, even though it's a fellowship for 6 months. I think one thing that anyone who's followed Maker for quite some time notes that individuals that kind of start their way in the community as maybe providing, you know, discrete comments on a certain thing that's popping up in governance or what have you, tend to make a reputation for themselves there, and many of whom, you know, continue to contribute not only in MakerDAO but also in other decentralized, you know, decentralized communities who are also facing similar issues, right? So I think there's a chance for, there's a very interesting opportunity to do some research and to make sure that your research is listened to, heard, and potentially acted on by this decentralized group of MKR holders. And that also would give you the opportunity to really make a name for yourself in the MakerDAO community and have that reputation be able to be transferred over to other projects that you could potentially contribute to. So I think the best way, if I were, you know, a young lawyer looking to get more involved in DeFi, you look at something like this, and it's not just a narrow opportunity to work on, you know, a report or a series of reports or frameworks for, you know, looking at specific types of assets, but also really an opportunity to start, you know, getting your foot in the door as much as you can of a decentralized community that doesn't have any doors. It's the best opportunity for you to start your career in this way, and, you know, follow something that's really a cutting edge legal issues and be able to transfer that experience, you know, whether it's you're continuing to contribute to the DAO, to MakerDAO, or contributing in a similar manner to other DAOs in the future. It's a really interesting opportunity for someone who's willing to put the time and work in. And obviously you have a fellowship that, you know, could that makes sure that ensures that you get remunerated for those efforts. So I'm very excited. I think, you know, Federico mentioned that there's a really incredibly qualified candidates. I mean, very impressed. I'm sure I wouldn't get chosen if I were the one applying, if I were on the other side of the coin.
Neither would
But
I, don't worry.
Federico and I would be at the bottom of the list, but very impressive candidates nonetheless. And, you know, like Federico said, it's a real opportunity for anyone else who wants to try to get involved to take that chance. So look forward to seeing any other applications, and hopefully if some of you do apply, get a chance to meet you as we go through the interview process. So that's it for me, but, you know, again, much appreciate the brief window of time I had to talk about this, and obviously thanks to Federico for setting it up and following through on it.
Thank you a lot, Brian. If there is one question, maybe we can take from the audience, and then we move on.
Of course,
to the
no problem.
final words. Is there any question from the audience about this? Let me see. Do you need to be an active lawyer? Can you be non-practicing? It's not a requirement to be a lawyer. If you, there are different candidates, and no, it's not a definitive requirement. Being a securities lawyer may help in some way to have the expertise.
Sure. Yeah. I think too, it's an opportunity, even if, you know, if I were on the other side of the coin, you know, no pun intended, and looking at this as an opportunity, if you're a law student, you know, whether you're in the United States, you're going into your third year of law school, or you're, you know, towards the end before graduation, you want, something like this could potentially be an independent research project for which you get paid, and you could use that as a basis for, like I said, working in this decentralized community, or even starting to build up, you know, the resume that you would be able to use this experience and make it directly applicable to the next, to your first or second or third professional position. If you're working in a law firm, you're working in government, etc. You know, there's opportunities there for very entrepreneurial or enterprising students to have this opportunity. And like, you know, Federico said, there's no delineation between whether or not you're barred or whether or not you still have graduated. It really is an open-ended fellowship for someone interested in doing this research.
Imagine graduating and you already have this experience of having been chosen for the fellowship and having this experience for, you know, in the DeFi. That's,
oh yeah, for sure.
A very good way to start your career.
I mean, frankly, it's, you know, obviously I'm based in the United States. My viewpoint tends to be American centric, for better or for worse, but it's something where, you know, this is something that, an area of practice that a lot of firms are building up departments and practices around. So if you come in, even if you're on the younger side, a younger associate with 2 or 3 years experience, you have something like this on your resume that could really set you, aside from the practical experience you would gain working on this and having the opportunity to present to this group of holders, etc. Having that in your back pocket and being able to really leverage that experience for different positions you might want to be applying for in the future is something I think would be very valuable. Again, my opinion, not the foundations, but I think that would be incredibly valuable for your legal experience and practice going forward.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Brian, for
No
your
problem.
opinions and you participating.